act of treason.
You betrayed your uniform!
Became an act of war.
Hey, it's Janelle Waz, and welcome back to another episode of Treknalysis. Sisko is back, and this time, it's personal. He's here to kick ass and serve jambalaya. And he's all out of jambalaya. He's kicking ass and taking names. Commander Eddington's name. And he did it all for the uniform.
You betrayed your uniform!
Now, as I mentioned in my videos talking about the DS9 episode in the Pale Moonlight, Captain Sisko is capable of doing some pretty shady things in order to accomplish his mission, and one could argue that the episode for the uniform was the precursor to his actions in the Pale Moonlight. Sisko is tasked with bringing to justice his former Chief of Starfleet Security, Michael Eddington.
Everyone's favorite traitor.
But it's more than just any old mission to Sisko. Eddington deeply betrayed his trust and the uniform he wore. But the most damning part of it all? Sisko never saw it coming.
Read his reports, had him to dinner. I even took him to a baseball game in the holosuite once, and I never saw it.
And he would go to great lengths in order to bring Eddington in. Even resorting to biological warfare, unthinkable to most Starfleet captains.
I think it's time for me to become the villain.
So once again, I'm examining Sisko's actions in DS9. Was he right in for the uniform? Was he the hero or the villain of this story? And even, was it all worth it?
How far will Sisko go
It's not over between us!
to even the score?
But before I go further, thanks for checking out my video. Make sure you like and subscribe for more of my Star Trek, video game, and other miscellaneous content. Keep those hailing frequencies open on the other social media sites, and a big thank you to my channel members for supporting the channel. If you'd like to buy me a cup of tea and support my work, consider joining up on my channel. Be great to have you aboard. Okay, so some context is necessary for this episode, so let's recap. Towards the end of TNG, the Maquis were formed as a result of a Federation-Cardassian treaty. Certain Federation territories were given to the Cardassians, and the Federation citizens didn't want to leave their homes or live under Cardassian rule, so they started to fight back against them. And to be fair to the Maquis, the Cardassians weren't exactly honoring the treaty. So early in DS9, Starfleet was trying to keep the peace by capturing and arresting the rebelling Maquis, which was what Voyager was up to when it got swept into the Delta Quadrant. Janeway was trying to capture Chakotay and his Maquis crew. And while all that's going on, the conflicts that eventually led to the Dominion War were just starting. Again, thanks to a certain science project.
I'm a low-tech kind of guy, Dad.
And Starfleet wanted to beef up security on DS9. Not completely confident in Chief of Security Odo, they decided to station Eddington on the station as Chief of Starfleet Security. Which pissed Odo off so much that he almost quit. Not to mention that Eddington didn't get around to updating the picture on his Starfleet driver's license. Seriously, how is this the same guy?
I've chosen well.
So have I.
And also, let's just say Eddington wasn't exactly the most trustworthy guy on the station.
The Tetrion compositor on the cloaking device has been sabotaged.
How do you know that?
Because I sabotaged it.
Nothing like endangering crew in the middle of hostile space, am I right? And then, big surprise, it turned out Eddington was in the Maquis, stole some fancy replicators, and then proceeded to call Sisko to compare the Federation to the Borg. Which is a pretty thing to say to a guy whose wife was killed by the Borg at Wolf 359.
You know, in some ways, you're even worse than the Borg.
And that's when Sisko knew he was gonna have to kick Eddington's ass. Having gotten a lead from an informant on the whereabouts of Michael Eddington, Sisko walks into a Maquis refugee camp just to end up finding Eddington himself.
Hello, Captain.
Eddington.
You're looking much less badass without the glaive.
Do not use it until you need it. Well, how will I know when? You'll know.
But what about Sisko's informant? What happened to him? Well, he had a little accident on the way here. Oh, but don't worry, he's still alive, just stranded on a very inhospitable planet. Or the beginning of No Man's Sky.
How merciful. You condemned him to a slow death.
But funnily enough, the one thing that brought Eddington and Sisko here today is betrayal. The informant was going to betray the Maquis, and Eddington betrayed Sisko 8 months ago, and Sisko's been hunting him down ever since. No doubt to give him that ass-kicking he deserves. Because nothing quite says I need an ass-kicking like lying to your co-workers for months, leaking information to the Maquis, shooting Major Kira, stealing a couple of fancy replicators, and using the captain's girlfriend as bait to lure Sisko from the station.
There is a word for that. Treason.
Now, there's a lot packed into this initial scene between Eddington and Sisko, but it defines these characters' motivations for the entire episode. Eddington places himself firmly on the moral high ground. I'm fighting for a good cause. I'm helping these poor people the Federation abandoned. Why are you so obsessed with me, Captain?
What is it that bothers you more? The fact that I left Starfleet to fight for a higher cause? Or the fact that it happened on your watch?
Well, gee, I don't know, Ed. Sisko wasn't nearly as pissed when his longtime friend left Starfleet to join the Maquis. Heck, he even let him go. Probably because he didn't betray everyone on the station to do it. Sisko even points out that if Eddington had just left Starfleet, he wouldn't be here right now. It was the betrayal that pissed him off so much. Heck, these people Eddington is fighting for, they don't even need to live this way. The Federation is willing to help them find new homes. The Maquis telling them that they could go back home is what's making things worse. But rather than addressing Sisko's legitimate grievances, especially that betrayal, Eddington just warns him not to go after him or he'll be sorry and beams away. What a... Back on the Defiant, Sisko begins his pursuit of Eddington, who's heading for the Badlands. I mean, maybe we'll get lucky. Janeway. But Sisko needs a little help, so he calls the starship Malinche and... Okay, I don't want to spend too much time on this. I'm not a fan of the holocommunicator. DS9 tried to make it work, but it never really stuck outside of a couple of episodes. To be fair, it does work for this episode because a lot of it rides on the conversations between Sisko and Eddington. Avery Brooks and Kenneth Marshall can play off each other without necessarily needing the characters to be in the same room. And from a world-building perspective, it makes sense that advancements in communication would happen, moving beyond the video calls we've seen before while combining it with holographic technology. Nevertheless, this just doesn't work for me. It's really jarring to see someone talking to Sisko like they're on the bridge of the Defiant, but then do little gestures like talking to crew off camera or pressing invisible buttons that reminds you they're on a completely different ship. Now, give me the glitchy holograms like in Star Wars where you get a sense of distance over something hyper-realistic like this. Not to mention, that holocom is gonna take up room on the bridge. What if someone walks through it? Anyways, the plan is for the Malinche to cut Eddington off at the Badlands while Sisko catches up. Solid plan. Too bad Eddington pulled a literal 180 on them to activate a dormant virus in the Defiant's computer that completely disables the ship. And Chief O'Brien has to reinstall the entire operating system over the next 2 weeks.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
We have no cloak, no transporters, no replicators.
Not a single luxury.
Oh, and then he fires on the Defiant for the shits and giggles. Little bastard. And just like before, Eddington makes it about Sisko. It's his vendetta against him, his obsession, not that Eddington is a literal fugitive committing treason. But hey, Eddington is such a nice guy, he has no hard feelings towards Sisko. In fact, he could probably just destroy the Defiant right now, but he's so nice, he's gonna let him hobble his way home. With Sisko getting angrier and angrier. Angry Sisko really is best Sisko.
Major, shut that thing off!
So unlike you, Captain, I know when to walk away.
Oh my. Can I punch him right now?
But I still don't like being lied to.
Back on the station, they now have to go through every system Eddington had access to over his 18 months as Chief of Starfleet Security, because apparently he left a bunch of little surprises for Odo to find, and Odo can't be sure that he found all of them. I mean, this is worse than if Jake tried to put LimeWire on his dad's work computer.
Have you ever reminded Starfleet Command that they stationed Eddington here because they didn't trust me? No. Please do.
I'm not entirely sure if Odo's annoyed at Starfleet or thoroughly satisfied. Either way, 100% justified.
Link with me again.
I mean, okay, but that didn't even happen yet. And she wasn't even hot, Odo!
OMG. Becky's not even hot.
I mean, she wasn't exactly Eddington in the 80s.
Oh no, he's hot!
Not gonna lie, though, if Eddington looked like this, I mean, damn, those Maquis are starting to make a lot of sense right now.
Is it foolish to defend your world? And to fight for your homes and families?
Oh, and Starfleet is taking Sisko off the assignment. Partly because he's taking too long to capture Eddington, which, fair, 8 months is a long time. But also, you're too close to this case, Ben!
If one of my officers had fooled me the way Eddington fooled you, I...
Oh, shit! If looks could throw a man out of the airlock, Captain Sanders would be hitting Voyager's windshield about now. So clearly, Ben's angry, and he needs to take his anger out on something.
I saw him almost every day. Read his reports. Had him to dinner. I even took him to a baseball game in the holosuite once.
This is probably the rawest Sisko moment in the episode. Up to this point, Eddington was telling him what his motives are. Starfleet and Captain Sanders were telling him he's vulnerable when it comes to Eddington. Right now, we're hearing it from Sisko. He's letting out his anger, and Jadzia's there acting as both confidant and punching bag holder. We're getting Sisko's innermost thoughts, unfiltered, uncensored, feeling deeply betrayed, fooled, and enraged. He's supposed to be a good judge of character, and all the time he's spent with Eddington, both as his commanding officer as well as the social functions, he never saw the betrayal coming. Though to be fair, there were signs.
You've turned us into sitting ducks for the Jem'Hadar!
Heck, as far as he can figure, Eddington doesn't even have any special advantage over him.
He's just a man, like me. And he beat me!
In a sense, Eddington is right that Sisko is after him for personal reasons. It's just that both Starfleet's goals and Sisko's goals coincide. They both want Eddington behind bars. And of course, no sooner than Jadzia telling him to let it go, Sisko gets pulled right back in.
He attacked the Cardassian colony on Velos Prime with a biogenic weapon.
What?
Yep, Eddington stole some seemingly innocuous cargo that he managed to turn into biogenic weapons, which he's using to attack Cardassian colonies. Is he really sure he has the moral high ground here? Let's see. Giving false information and leaking info to the Maquis for over a year, planting computer viruses everywhere, hijacking the station, attacking a superior officer, stealing cargo multiple times, attacking at least one starship, and poisoning the atmosphere of multiple Cardassian colonies? Really, Ed?
They're just Cardassians.
And that's what makes Eddington so insufferable for the entire episode. He's so self-righteous. He sees nothing wrong with what he's doing. Betrayal, thievery, attacking civilians, straight up treason. And then proceeds to lecture Sisko when the guy himself is clearly no saint.
Well, it's easy to be a saint in paradise, but the Maquis do not live in paradise.
I mean, if he at least admitted that some of his actions were regrettable, okay, it doesn't necessarily make what he did right, but at least you can understand where he's coming from. Heck, it wouldn't be unlike what Ben would later go through in the Pale Moonlight, doing some shady things for a greater good. But nope, he has no regrets, and Ben is rightfully angry. And look, the Maquis do have some legitimate grievances, but the way Eddington is so self-righteous about it doesn't make me sympathize with him. Listen, if he's gonna be this insufferable and hypocritical, he needs to be a lot hotter to get away with it. Eddington had no business being that hot in the 80s.
I don't kill men without good reason.
Nor do I. I'd be thankful for it.
So Eddington's got enough biogenic weapons to poison every Cardassian colony in the demilitarized zone. But yeah, he's the good guy. And the Malinche is the only ship in the area. For once, it's not the Enterprise. Why is there only ever one ship?
There is another ship in the area. It's moored at Docking Bay 3.
Damn! That was badass. Only the Defiant is still being repaired. Only half the systems are online, cloak is gone, they can't aim weapons accurately, comms are down. Heck, at the moment they can only go to warp 6. That's only slightly faster than Archer's ship. But at least they're well within range for not turning into salamanders. Well, better hop to it, Chief.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
Oh, thank God the holocoms still work. Now, the next couple of scenes are really nice. Since a lot of the Defiant's automatic systems are offline, the crew has to do a lot of regular ship functions manually. Heck, they even brought in Nog to be the ship's comm system. He does have the lobes for it.
Now get me more speed!
Engine room, bridge, more speed!
But everyone's working in sync with each other to get this ship flying and keep it flying. Communicating readings to each other, manually configuring the ship just to take off. It's all the little things you don't normally think about when watching Star Trek. And there's a lot to it. Heck, they almost hit a pylon at one point. It's almost like how a ship in the Age of Sail would have functioned. A nice callback to the past within a sci-fi setting. The way everyone's working in sync, it really is a sight to behold.
Well done, people.
The Defiant has finally arrived at the Badlands, thankfully in one piece, to begin their search for Eddington. It's like the search for Spock, only we actually like Spock. So Eddington is in the area, and he also has a gift for Sisko.
It's a book. One of my favorites. Les Miserables.
Thank you, but I've read it.
I saw the miniseries years ago. Does that count? Listen, the book is like 1,400 pages long, okay?
Read. Who has time? I see the movie. I'm in and out in 2 hours.
Actually, I kind of want to see this scene now with Eddington giving Sisko the randomest books. It's a book, if you give a mouse a cookie. The Cat in the Hat. Pride and Prejudice. What are you implying, Eddington? Quark really needs to find a wife. Now, I never read Les Miserables, but I have a basic understanding of the story, and frankly, a basic understanding is all you need for this episode. Eddington likens Sisko to the character Javert who pursues Jean Valjean for stealing a loaf of bread. If I recall correctly, in order to feed his sister and her family.
Sound like anyone you know?
No, because again, if I recall correctly, Valjean didn't poison multiple colonies along the DMZ, you little piece of sh**. But it turns out Eddington wasn't really here. He was just luring the Defiant here to attack the Malinche, which is currently dead in space, but everybody seems to be okay.
Saved me a seat at his court-martial.
Hey, isn't Ben still technically off the case? Isn't he in trouble right now?
But if you pull a stunt like that again, I'll court-martial you, or I'll promote you. Either way, you'll be in a lot of trouble.
So the Malinche failed to bring Eddington in, but they did give Sisko a message to decode, which he passes on to Odo back at the station. Did you tell Starfleet yet? Apparently Eddington is passing off Breen nursery rhymes as messages, which leads them to a Breen settlement and right to Eddington. Having already detonated another biogenic weapon and attacking a transport full of evacuating Cardassians. Probably civilians. Again, he's calling himself the good guy? Got a new book for you, Romeo and Juliet. Thanks, but you're not my type. Eddington, still calling Sisko Javert, gives him a choice. Go after him or save the Cardassian transport. Oh yeah, totally not the villain.
Make your choice, Spider-Man, and see how a hero is rewarded.
Prepare to engage tractor beam.
Bye! So Ben and Jadzia start a book club discussion analyzing Les Miserables, and Jadzia hasn't read the book.
I
can't stand Victor Hugo.
Eddington said that it's one of his favorites.
There's no accounting for taste.
Ben concludes that Eddington is living out his own fantasy. The Starfleet officer gone rogue to fight the good fight against the Cardassians and injustice, making sacrifices to save people.
He's Valjean. He's Robin Hood.
He's Colwyn from Krull. Again, how is this the same guy?
It's us he can't defeat.
The point is, Eddington sees himself as the hero of his own story, one that will ultimately sacrifice himself for the cause, making Ben the villain. So Ben decides he's really gonna lean into it. Which we've already kind of seen him do.
I, on the other hand, have no pretensions about the idea of being a hero. I will detonate 2 quantum torpedoes that will scatter trilithium resin into the atmosphere of Colossus 3.
Yep, Sisko's going to give the Maquis a taste of their own medicine. He's gonna start detonating torpedoes at Maquis planets and poison their atmospheres. Hey, if Eddington can do it and claim the moral high ground, why can't Sisko? And the crew's looking around like, oh, is he really gonna do it? Yep, he's really doing it! So now the arrogant, morally superior Eddington, previously cocky and calling Sisko Javert, even in this very scene, is shitting himself because Sisko isn't playing anymore. Oh, but what about the poor people on the planet? They're just civilians. They didn't do anything. You mean like those Cardassians on the transport you attacked? Yeah, that's rich Eddington. Heck, he's still throwing the vendetta at Sisko. But we do get perhaps one of Sisko's best lines in the entire show.
And for what? To satisfy a personal vendetta?
You betrayed your uniform!
And you're betraying yours!
And upon loading up another set of torpedoes, Eddington gives in. Fine, I'll turn over the biogenic weapons.
Not enough!
And finally, Sisko gets what he came here for. Eddington.
Have you ever reminded Starfleet Command that they stationed Eddington here because they didn't trust me?
So the Maquis and Cardassian colonists who were displaced are going to switch planets. I guess that worked out. And Sisko admits that he never cleared his plan with Starfleet before poisoning at least one planet. Which seems to be the start of a pattern.
Sometimes I like it when the bad guy wins.
I'm not crazy about that final line. I know it's a little tongue-in-cheek and you're not supposed to take it too seriously, but it does make light of Sisko's actions, which were still pretty grave. And that was for the uniform.
You betrayed your uniform!
I feel like other episodes in the show probably outshine it, but it's still excellent. Avery Brooks and Kenneth Marshall play well off each other, and the both of them blur the lines between hero and villain pretty well. Shades of gray, if you will. Eddington sets himself up as the hero doing good deeds for the cause, but we feel his betrayal with Sisko and want to see him brought to justice. Not to mention, there are times you just want to punch him. Sisko, as the show's lead, is naturally the hero in our minds, but he has to take the actions of a villain in order to apprehend the man who betrayed them all. But the question remains, was it good that Sisko poisoned a planet's atmosphere in order to bring Eddington in? Well, no, because he still straight up poisoned a planet, endangering a lot of people. There's not a lot of ways you can sugarcoat that. But was Sisko the villain for it? I would argue no. If there was any other way, I'm pretty sure he would have taken it. But Eddington poisoned multiple planets. He wasn't gonna stop anytime soon, and he kept evading capture, disabling 2 starships in the process. It was either keep trying to bring him in and he attacks more planets, or attack one planet and that's it. No more planets get poisoned. Sisko's actions can be justified because he did stop Eddington from poisoning more planets. Again, it's not unlike in the Pale Moonlight. Damned if you do and damned if you don't. Speaking of which, why the hell wasn't Garrick in this episode? He would have been perfect. Now, was Sisko driven by his vendetta against Eddington? Oh, hell yes. I don't think he would have taken the Defiant out in its condition if it was any other Maquis leader. Nevertheless, he still got the job done. But in the end, was Sisko a villain? I would argue no more than the man calling him one.
All right, Javert. I'll give you what you want. Me.
So, what did you think of For the Uniform? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What did you make of Sisko's actions? Was he right? Was he wrong? Was he justified? Was he a villain? And what are some of your favorite Maquis episodes in Star Trek? Please leave comments below and discuss. As always, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Treknalysis. If you like what you see, why not give my video a like and subscribe to my channel? Tell your friends. Until next time.
You betrayed your uniform!